welcome to our new podcast, Mind Body Stuff.
Mind Body Stuff!
Guess what we talk about?
Mind Body Stuff!
That's exactly right. Pretty clever.
Yeah.
I'm Kaylee Lindner.
I'm Bernice Johnston.
What's your name?
Forgot my last name just for a second, but it came back there.
It's only been 28 years you've been married.
Almost said Bernice Brown. Jeez Louise. But if you know me as Bernice Brown, she was a great gal. But now I'm Bernice Johnston. 28 years later.
So, in this podcast, we are going to talk about, we're going to talk about OULA, but we're going to talk about a lot of other things that we deal with or get to enjoy or whatever it may be in life and how it relates to OULA. Maybe sometimes how it doesn't. Maybe sometimes, we're going to just talk. So, this first episode we've dedicated to the story of OULA, how it came to be this wacky, crazy, amazing thing that it is. And from there, we will go on to other topics. But today we're going to talk about the story.
The story of OULA.
The story of OULA.
How did it all begin?
So Bernice is going to be my little interviewer at the beginning.
Yeah, I'm going to be the interviewer, which
all
is
right.
exciting. So I'm going to ask the first few questions about the story of OULA.
The story.
Everyone get their hot cocoa out, their popcorn. It's going to be a good story.
That's a good one. Here we go.
Story. So anyway, as we know, Kaylee is the founder and creator of OULA. She is all things OULA. She guides us in everything we do. So it's kind of important to know who this person is. With that being said, it's kind of interesting to find out, first of all, where did you grow up? Where did this person, Kaylee Lindner, grow up?
Well, Kaylee McLaurin.
Kaylee McLaurin.
Kaylee McLaurin.
She's a
Scotswoman.
Yes.
Grew up in Helena, so not too far from Missoula.
Helena, Montana.
Yep. Pretty boring. Sorry if my family's listening, but you already know how I feel about Helena.
Beautiful place, though.
Beautiful.
Beautiful place. Mm-hmm. And did you dance as a kid?
What do you think?
I'm going to say no.
That's insulting. Yes, I did.
She was a dancer.
I grew up dancing. I was in ballet and jazz and modern. I was in the Premier Dance Company, actually. Oh. Not that good, though, unfortunately. I was okay. I was fine. I was a good dancer. But you know what was something that my teachers always said to me is that I just really had a good stage presence, and I feel like it's because I really felt the music. So there you go. From the very beginning, I was always just feeling it.
Aww. Good stage presence. I love that. And have you always loved music? Has it always been an integral part of your life?
I think so. Yes, I know so. Yeah, definitely. I say this in OULA related things. I like music more than I like to dance, to be honest. I feel like dancing lets me like really, really, really get into the music. So it's almost my way of being able to kind of be inside of a song and inside of that story. And I just remember, like, as a kid, I was not even as a kid, like even into high school, I was so excited when I would go to, like, what's that store? Like Hastings?
Hastings.
Do you remember Hastings?
Oh yeah, Hastings. It was here in Missoula for a while.
I loved Hastings. And I would just go into Hastings and I would find, I would like go up and down the aisles and find CDs, and then I just lock myself in my bedroom, listen to the CDs, and like if they had the little insert that had the lyrics,
oh right,
then I would just like memorize the song and just spend hours and hours and hours with like one CD. So yeah, I've always loved music. Have you?
My dad played a lot of music when I was growing up.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Hawaii, Honolulu, Hawaii.
Hawaii.
Kind of a different place to grow up, and I was an only child, so unfortunately.
But she's not. She has two big sisters.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about them. Sorry. Sorry, Franny.
In case your family's listening, you probably shouldn't say you're an only child.
I have some attachment issues, but
we'll get to that in a later episode.
That's a different story. But yeah, music always played an important part. But for me, I was always singing. Like, I constantly singing, like pretending I was in a musical theater.
Oh, yeah, I could
always
see that.
Singing, like I'm in Camelot, or, The King and I. So I was constantly playing different roles in my own private musical theater. So
I could totally see that as a kid.
So the problem for me is when people play music in everyday life, it's hard for me to focus because immediately I'm like, oh, there I go. I'm in Jamaica now. Like, I have a very hard time just staying in the moment if there's music playing in the even in the background. It's problematic. So I have to, unfortunately, not play much music at my house unless I'm clear that I'm not.
Because you get distracted and run off with the king.
I just start like, here's the king. The king has come. So I have to be very careful about how and when I play music.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's a different, kind of a different thing.
I'm the opposite. I always have to have music playing.
Yeah.
Always. Anytime you walk into my house or my car or anywhere that I'm at, there always has to be music.
I think that's nice. A lot of people are like that. I think it sets the tone and the ambiance for the place,
right.
And what you're feeling and stuff like that. So
maybe you'll have to psychoanalyze why I can't sit with silence. Again, that's another episode.
The sounds of silence. That'll be another episode on mind, body stuff. Just hold on for that. Now that we talked about music, I want to segue now into your name. Because...
Ooh, my name.
Kaylee,
are you going to psychoanalyze me here? Is this where you psychoanalyze?
This is the best part.
Bernice is a therapist, for those of you who don't know.
That's right. I'm a mental health counselor.
Counselor, sorry.
I can be your counselor, too.
At
1-888.
You're mine. So nobody take up too much of her time because she's pretty much on call for me 24 hours a day.
No, I'm HR. I'm human resources.
You are HR for OULA.
That's
pretty
right.
much. Okay.
At the OULA studio. Mm-hmm. OULA Fitness, HR. So back to your name.
My name.
Kaylee.
Okay, so Kale. Okay, so my name is Kaylee, but it's spelled Kali. And so there's a Hindu goddess, and her name is Kali. Kali. And she is, there's a lot of different ways to describe her, but one way is that she is the goddess of destruction. But once you start to learn more about her, you realize that, what she represents is basically, the cycle of life. So without destruction, there is no rebirth. So the whole cycle of birth, life, death, rebirth, all of that. So she kind of represents that, the good with the bad, the cyclical nature of life, of everything, basically. And so she's a really... Excuse you. She's, the image of her is kind of frightening. She's got her tongue out and she's got a sword and she's standing on skulls and heads and stuff. But, I think it's kind of it's good too because it teaches us about, she teaches us about not everything is always good and nothing good will actually ever last. And that's kind of that's a hard thing to realize and to kind of sit with, that there is always a cycle playing out. But that's also really comforting in times when you're like, what is happening? And sometimes you have to really crack open this shell and you have to experience that destruction. You have to kind of let this stuff fall to the side to bring new life forth and to bring the light out of that darkness. And so, I don't know, she's always been a really fascinating character to me. I remember when I was a kid, up into high school, there was this cool bookshop in Helena, and it's still there, Aunt Bonnie's. I think it's still there. And I would just go, and there's like this section that's all about like astrology and, philosophy and religion. And I would just kind of find myself in this corner of the bookstore, and I'd just be flipping through like, okay, what does it mean? Like, what type of a person are you when you've been born on this day? Or like, reading about astrology and about gods and goddesses of different cultures and religions and stuff. And I've always found it really, really fascinating. So, although my name is not Kali, most people think my name is Callie.
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 Like, is Callie there?
But she still has played a really kind of, she was a good catalyst for me just kind of beginning my exploration and my curiosity into, I don't know, different ways of thinking and different religions and cultures and I don't know, this kind of mind-body journey that I've been on for most of my life, to be honest. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
How interesting to have a name that,
Yeah.
I'm sure your parents didn't think of that when they named you. Like,
no. I'm sure that they named my sister Brie after one of the Charlie's Angels.
Oh. Which Charlie's Angel?
Isn't there one that's like a...
I don't remember. I love the Charlie's Angels.
I think there's one that's Brie something.
Brie something. Oh, they were...
Anyways, and then they went to the dark side for me.
And they went to Kaylee.
Kali.
But they spelled it Kali.
They spelled it Kali.
Yeah, interesting.
I know, right? Because there's so many Kayleys now. Lots of little girls are named Kaylee, but I've never seen it spelled Kali.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's always kind of been interesting to me, is like where my name came from.
Yeah. Yeah, very significant.
Uh-huh.
So let's talk about now how we met.
Oh, how we met.
How we met.
First, the story of OULA maybe is kind of how we met before that. So the story, do you want to do the story of OULA or how we met?
Let's do the story of OULA.
Okay.
Exactly right.
Okay.
Yes.
So basically I had gone through I grew up dancing. I stopped doing that. In many ways, it was pretty destructive to my self-confidence. And why are you giving me the squinty eyes?
I always do that. I'm thinking. This is my thinking look.
It's her thinking face.
My thinking look.
Yeah, just because if you're not the right body for ballet, then I feel like it can be really destructive to your sense of, sense of value and sense of, fitting in. I mean, everything, honestly, like your femininity or your beauty or all these things. So it did create kind of a lot of issues. But the cool thing, and this is where the goddess Kali comes in, is it's like this darkness and these dark things and these hard things for us are really the catalysts for finding the light or finding a way to evolve. And so I feel like I almost, I got so many really cool gifts from OULA, or from dance, that helped create OULA. But I also really kind of got weighed down with this like, I don't know, lack of self-esteem or negative self-talk or like body judgment and shame and all of this stuff. And so in a way, like, it's one of those situations where I feel so grateful for all of my struggles, because without those, like, what is your catalyst? What is your catalyst to get you to where you need to go?
What makes the fire?
What makes the fire? Like, what is it? And so for me, like, dance was absolutely fundamental and like was a huge source of joy for my life. Yes, but also it was a really big source of like, I don't know, just like, I guess shame sounds like a big word, but it really was like how many, I still have issues. Like, okay, have I not gotten on the scale in a little while? Like, get on if you've gained weight. Like, the feeling that immediately comes to my being is shame. Mm-hmm. It's like I've got all of these kind of residual body issues, I think, from dance. And maybe just being a girl and growing up. I don't know, maybe not being a skinny girl. I'm sure there are a lot of things. Mm-hmm. But in ballet, as a little girl, they're just highlighted. I think that's the thing. But those really catapulted me into seeking a deeper sense of self. Mm-hmm. That's what it did, because, that coupled with like some just like physical things that I went through in my teen and early 20s, and just things that made me feel like, honestly, really shitty about myself. Those were absolutely fundamental in me becoming who I need and want to be, and my catalyst for creating OULA. So I didn't want to just do traditional dance anymore. I got into yoga, but I felt that was pretty stagnant and stifling, at least for me. And then I got I got certified in a 200-hour program in yoga, and then I got certified in NIA, which is a really beautiful format as well. And then I decided to kind of just make my own thing. And what I had an aha moment actually in one of my teacher training weekends for my yoga certification. I had they were like 10-hour days. It was 4 days a month, 6-month-long training. And at the end of one day, I would always rent this little hotel, this cheap little hotel in Bozeman where the training was at. And at the end of the day, I went back to my hotel room, and I just remember turning on MTV, and it felt kind of like naughty in a way, because, wasn't I supposed to be like so beyond MTV and all that it stood for, and like whatever. But it felt so good. And I turned it on, and it was Rihanna's Umbrella. And I just started dancing, and I hadn't felt that good in a long time, because I was trying to like be all serious and be into yoga and all the, the philosophy. And I loved all that stuff. I really did. But I was missing the lightheartedness. I was missing like that playful spirit. I was missing how it felt to just like dance around the living room like I did with my sister when I was a kid, or like to make up dances with my friends when I was in middle school.
Yeah.
I missed that feeling. And it was almost like an aha moment, like, oh, well, why isn't it possible to have like this really transformative experience, but have it also be fun? I had never found anything that I found to be transformative and like deeply fulfilling on a soul, mind, body, heart, energetic level, but also really fun. Mm-hmm. And so, through a very long process, because OULA didn't start that way immediately, but that was like kind of my rocket of desire. Like, boom, I felt how it felt, and then I just kind of shot that rocket, and now we're maybe finally beginning to really get to where that little rocket was headed. And so, so OULA had to come before you and I met, but I actually want to hear the story in your mind of how you and I met.
Well,
because I'm sure we remember it kind of different.
I bet we do remember it a little differently. I had heard a little bit about OULA when I was in Missoula, where I live, and but I hadn't really, I was like, whatever. I didn't really.
Whatever.
Didn't know.
Judgmental.
Whatever. I don't know what that is. I'm not sure. I won't do that. Because I'm very in the box sometimes, very repetitive.
Well, you just don't like change.
I don't like change. I'm stuck on no change. Change is unsafe, which is most sad, sort of, because, of course, you have to change if you want to reach new heights and new levels. Sometimes you have to challenge yourself. But anyway, that's another podcast. So I was doing a fitness class, a dance fitness class, after I'd had my 4th child. And was enjoying it. It was very subdued, I was right next to the teacher every day, such a good participant, loving my class. And we found out that the teacher was going to stop doing that class. She got married and she was going to go someplace else, and so she wasn't going to do the class anymore. And it was about probably 6 or 8 of us in that class, but I was like, the teacher's right-hand person. I felt. I'm sure the teacher didn't feel that way, but I was like, yeah, I'm your person. Don't you worry. So one day she starts the class and she said, this is my last class. Of course, I wasn't paying attention, as I never do. And she said, but, partway through, we're going to have this new format come in called OULA. And I was like, oh, good, great, wonderful. And So we start the class, and there I am right next to her, just dancing away, just doing it perfectly, which is what I think. And then halfway through, this gang of people come in, and our class is very subdued. Like, we don't make noise. We're very just like, we're good little dancers dancing together. And this group of women come in, and they're so loud, they're so energetic. And, of course, Kaylee is, like, leading the pack. And she's like, this is OULA. The second half is OULA. And my initial reaction is like, ugh, what is this? Like, this is ridiculous. And the people are having so much fun. They're, like, shouting and singing, and they're so carefree and dancing. And I'm just, like, trying to hold my spot up front. Like, this is where I dance, and we do not dance like that. Here, we are quiet. We are well behaved. And, but you were just your regular magnetic self, just dancing away. You didn't even deal with my sort of grumpy look on my face, just dancing next to me. And then partway through the class, I just heard myself suddenly yelping, like, whoa! And I was like, oh no, I made a sound. How shocking. It was like totally shocking to me. And then, but that really was the beginning of how we met, and I became obsessed with Kaylee. I had to follow her to every class. She was teaching everywhere around town at that time because we didn't have many instructors.
That's when I was young and had more energy.
She was a baby.
That's before I had my children.
She had many
sucked the life out of me.
And so then I just wouldn't really leave her side, unfortunately. And so here I am, still doing the same thing, but just totally blown away by, this thing that I never thought I would be participating in, really, but has had such a profound effect on my life and the lives of many other people.
And for those of you who don't know Bernice, she works at OULA. She does a lot for OULA, and for those of you who have met her, you've probably met her at a training or in Missoula at the studio, but you are now I can't do anything without you anymore because I don't even teach classes without Bernice anymore because everything is so much more fun with you
than
without.
We have so much fun.
So I'm so glad that you didn't stay grumpy in that class.
Yeah, I was prepared. I wanted to stay grumpy the entire time, but you were. It was an amazing format and just so much fun. And I didn't realize I could have so much fun.
And that was a while ago. Like, don't you think OULA's changed since then?
OULA has changed a lot since then. It's sort of progressed from this sort of the funnest dance workout ever, which it still is.
It's still super fun.
Mind-blowingly fun. But it has...
Especially our class.
That's right. On Fridays.
9:30. At the OULA studio.
Life Changers.
1900 West Broadway.
1900 West Broadway. Missoula, Montana. But it has changed. It's gotten a lot because of things that have happened in your life, I think. Mm-hmm. It has progressed into really, I think, a whole body workout. This combination of lightness with darkness, with a deepness. Is that a word? Deeperness?
That's not a word.
It's like Jacques Cousteau, we went very deeperness in the cavern. But I think there's so many elements of lightness and darkness that's flowing throughout the class now.
Totally. And I think before I was afraid to go to those dark places because I was building a business and I don't think that I was confident enough in my ability to A, have people like it, B, I don't know, was I actually capable of taking them to these pretty big places emotionally? And to be quite honest, when I started OULA, I hadn't, I'd gone through, hard things here and there, but man, I felt like it was once I went through, the biggest tragedy of my personal life, it was only then. It's like you have to go to the really dark and hard places in your own life before you can hold that space for other people. And so in a way, I have been able to, try to shift my understanding on really difficult situations and always come back to how will I use this situation to grow? How can I use this to serve other people? How can I take, something so hard and so dark and so heavy, and I don't know, find light or bring light through this experience? And I feel like, I maybe wanted to be able to do that when I started OULA, but it wasn't until about 4 years ago. So that was 3 years into OULA that I really had no other option than to really face my darkness and through a personal tragedy, losing a baby, that I don't know, that I finally felt like, oh my gosh, this can be like, not only can dance and OULA heal us, because that's what I used to really help heal myself, was the community that OULA is, and the absolutely therapeutic element of bringing the mind, the body, the spirit, the heart, and then using music as the catalyst to move all of that, all of the, the pain and the sadness and the hurt, move it all through the body, all of the bodies, the spirit body, the mind body, the physical body, the emotional body, and find healing. And so once I was able to experience that fully for myself, then it was kind of my like, oh my gosh, anyone can use this to heal. Mm-hmm. But how would I have known that if I didn't need to heal myself? Mm-hmm. You can't, I don't know. It's like, so in a way, like, I've really tried to figure out how to find my heartache and my, just difficulties in life, and try to find the light in them, because it's always there, but you've got to kind of dig. You've got to go there. You've got to find the blessings in it. And I know that, at least for me, like, my situation really helped me understand the power of OULA. And from there, I figured out how to use OULA as a tool to bring that same thing to other people. And so, yes, OULA didn't start that way. Maybe I wanted it to, but I hadn't been in the right place personally yet. I hadn't grown enough as a person to be able to do the work that I eventually wanted to do. And unfortunately, it took a pretty big tragedy for me and my family to be able to get there. But now I understand, like, wow, OULA can really help us heal.
Yeah.
I mean, what's your experience with that?
Well, and I think you said the power of OULA, almost as though it's like a separate vehicle of you, which is interesting because, often we hear writers, when they're writing a story, they're like, and the story wrote itself. Mm-hmm. That sort of profound effect, to sort of a connection to the cosmic, or a connection to something larger than ourselves. And I feel like OULA is that kind of for you too, that it came to you, mm-hmm. and that it sort of organically morphed when you needed it to morph.
Totally.
And when we needed it to morph too.
Totally.
I think the community was ready for it to morph.
Well, and I would have been bored. Like, there's only, I have always been fascinated, like, going back to those days when I'd hide out in the bookstore, like, I've always been fascinated in a deeper understanding. Like, I'm so I really have no tolerance for the societal pressure to look a certain way, to, like, fit in, whatever. That stuff has never, ever interested me. Like, I don't know, anyone who knows me, look at the way I dress, like, whatever. I don't care. Like, I have almost kind of said, I will not try to be a part of society in this way. Mm-hmm. I know that my value and my relationships and my, my way in this world can be so much more impactful than just on this very, very superficial physical space. And that includes, like, considering OULA as, like, a weight loss thing. Can we use OULA to lose weight and to get healthier in our bodies? Absolutely. And when we lose weight, when we lose anything that's holding us down, like extra weight, that absolutely is holding us down. So do we want to be lighter? Always. We want to be lighter physically. We want to be lighter spiritually, emotionally, all of this. But I have always refused, as a as a company and as just kind of who we stand for, to use OULA as a form of weight loss. Just for the sense of the physical, like, if you look good, then you'll feel better. Your relationships will be healthier. You will gain the confidence that you always wish you had. Like, that to me is playing into the problem. So the way that we use OULA is then to say, no. What lies under the surface? That has always been what's more interesting to me. What lies under the surface? Let's go to that space. Let's do the work under the surface and then watch what grows up. Watch how the surface changes when we nourish and when we really put our attention underneath into that soil, and then watch what grows. And so, yeah, I don't know. Like, I think if I think that I didn't know how to make OULA less superficial. I mean, it was always fun.
Oh yeah, always.
Why are you making that face?
And it still is fun.
And it still is
fun.
I don't think I had the balls back then to do songs like we do now. Like, you guys, and here's my kudos to newer instructors. These songs that we're asking you to teach now, they're hard. They're hard. It's hard to hold that kind of space for other people. So major kudos to our instructors who are teaching these really tough songs. Like, I think back to when I first started OULA, I stuck with the safe songs for the most part. And it wasn't until my life got turned upside down that I really kind of brought in different types of music that really allowed us to feel and experience and bring forth this huge variety of emotions.
Well, and that's the pushback I think we felt from the fitness industry. Not to pick on the fitness industry, because I'm glad everybody's fit.
Who cares?
But
this is our podcast.
This is our podcast. But and I'm glad people want to get fit, and fitness is a good thing. But we've definitely had pushback from the fitness industry regarding, that fitness. It seems like fitness should be light. Like, it should be, we're going to do 10 squats, and then we're going to do 10 jumping jacks, and we're going to smile.
Well, it's all on the surface. It's just on that physical plane.
Right. They just want to access one area, which is fine.
That's okay.
But for us, as a whole body fitness company, whole
being,
person.
Yeah.
When you introduced when that tragedy happened in your life with the loss of your son, and you introduced sort of the darker parts, the deeper parts of OULA, in terms of the songs that we access, the emotions that were drummed up for people in class, that's when it really started to grow in the sense of a whole being fitness program, and that we really had access not just to the light, but to the dark.
Totally.
And then we have balance.
Totally.
Right? That search for equilibrium that we were talking about earlier, that we need to have both, I think.
Oh, absolutely.
The lightness and the darkness, to have full body healing and understanding and compassion and all the things we want in our lives.
Yeah, totally. Well, and in my OULA 1 class last night, I was talking about this concept of like, there is always, and there always has been, there always will be good and bad, light and dark. Like, I don't know if the opposites will always be there, and they've always been there. But when we get out of balance, when we become unhealthy, it's because we are not at that equilibrium. And this is what I was talking about last night, was power that is controlled becomes strength. Power that has gotten out of balance, that has just gone wild, that's chaos. That is not healthy. So it can be the same as emotions. Like, when we are not able to kind of like look at our darker stuff or whatever, they become these like really like it's almost fascinating to me, because sometimes, like, I don't know, when our answer is, how's it going? Fine. When that's always the answer, it's usually because there's so much out of balance, like in the other direction. And the thing is, well, here, just like, let yourself be angry. It's 3.5 minutes of a song. Like, dance the 3.5 minutes. Allow yourself to bring that emotion, bring that forth. Allow yourself to feel it. And you start to then you start to bring that equilibrium back into balance. So you don't have to just, like be so afraid to go down because you don't know what's down there. It's okay to be, I'm always searching for those relationships or the meaning that's just beyond the surface. I'm just like, I don't know. I just don't have time for it in my life right now. And I feel like people are through OULA like feeling like they can trust themselves to feel angry, or it's okay to feel sad. And so then they're noticing that like everything begins to even out. It doesn't mean that their happiness becomes any smaller. It doesn't mean that they're not a healthy person or they're a happy person. It just, they begin to find this space of equilibrium where no emotion feels scary, because we bring it into this space where you look around and you notice, oh my gosh, everybody else here also feels this way. Mm-hmm. And you're not necessarily feeling it about the same things, but we all feel the same emotions, just at different times or in different situations in our life. And I think understanding that it's okay and it's healthy, and then processing it through the mind. You're learning choreography very quickly through the body. You're doing a physical activity in community and to music. Like, this has been the most fun way to be healthy from a full being standpoint that I've ever found.
Mm-hmm. And we were talking about this earlier today in terms of, OULA has helped me so much in terms of exploring my own story. The story of my life. I'm going to take you home. But you know how we were just talking about this earlier, how hard it is to find words to your own story. Sometimes totally. It's hard for us to communicate. And we were just talking about this earlier, in fact, about how I took a class on how to find words to define emotions. Because when you're doing therapy, talk therapy, of course, people are like, usually it's like, well, I felt sad, or I felt mad. But then, of course, you want to get a deeper understanding of the person, so you're trying to figure out, what type of sad? Were you disappointed? Were you heartbroken? There's so many different aspects. What does sad mean? But I did a whole course on what different words you could use, because words are so hard for us to find sometimes in describing our stories.
Totally.
We get kind of like, I don't know the word, but it was sad, So we did this whole course. We had a handout. You give the person, here's your handout. Look up the word. Here's 50 words for sad.
Yeah.
But the beauty of OULA is that you have an artist making a song that has a song. You put movement to that song. So you have the movement and the music combined, and you're all together, and you're simultaneously moving and experiencing that song, and then you feel those emotions kind of bubbling up inside of you without having to have any words.
Sure.
So we can all experience that together in our different ways, but still experiencing it communally. And I was just thinking about this when we do this song called Water Me by Izzo in class.
Not Izzo.
Lizzo. Sorry, Lizzo. If you're listening, I'm sorry. But we do the song. It's an awesome song. It's like, water me, yeah, yeah. And she talks about being free. And I feel like I'm pretty happy. I've been married for 28 years. I'm not always happy, of course. I feel suicidal occasionally. But I got 5 kids. There's, I feel very lucky in my life. But there are these lyrics almost every time I sing them and dance them. It says, I am free. Yeah, I'm free. And every time I sing the lyrics, I have this upwelling of emotion. Like I'm like fighting for my freedom in some way. And I don't even know where that comes from, folks. Like, where is that? I don't know.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, my physical body and my mental body and my spiritual body connect, and I need to shout those words and experience that emotion for that moment.
Yeah.
So it's pretty phenomenal when that happens.
Isn't that cool? Yeah, when you don't even know that you need it.
I don't even think I need it. Like, I'm like, why am I shouting? I have no idea why I'm shouting that.
Well, and the thing is, I feel like, yeah, I totally agree with you. And, like, I wasn't feeling good. I was sick last week, so I didn't teach last week. And, like, it's weird because the longer you go without it, the more you're like, oh, I guess I don't need it. I guess I don't need this.
Good point.
But, oh my gosh. Then you go back and you're like, I did not know all this stuff was inside of me. Like, it's crazy. And you feel so much better after you go and release it or activate it even. Mm-hmm. Like, sometimes it's a release because it's like, oh my gosh, this stuff is built up inside of me and I got to get it out. Or sometimes it's like activating it to be like, I have not felt sexy in like weeks. Like, my baby's been puking on me. Like, there's absolutely nothing inside of me that feels sexy right now. So then to be able to activate that and be like, oh, hot damn, I am sexy.
I remember this.
I
remember
am sexy. This. Like, it's so important. And that is why OULA is so confusing too. I feel like for people to understand it, because it's not just like a mind-body experience. And it's not just a dance fitness. And you're like, why are people crying one minute, screaming at the top of their lungs the next minute, slapping the floor the next minute? Like, what is this? Well, the thing is, it's really hard to define because the human experience is very hard to define and it is very messy. And I feel like, if anything, OULA is like such a good kind of like representation of the human experience, where we are physical beings. We are, but we're so much more than that. Like, we live in this body, but we're so much more than just our physical self, and we're trying to figure out how to do it in community. And the thing is, we used to live in communities, and now as Americans especially, we live in our single family dwellings and we sit on our phones and we're lonely. As we're trying to figure out how to reconnect with each other, and we're trying to, like, you know, we're trying to be like, I don't know, all of these things, and then you come into OULA and you just get to be who you are. And you look around and you're like, man, look at all of these people just like, I don't know, just like taking up space, just being who they are, and it gives you, I don't know, it just gives you this amazing permission to be whoever you are that day and feel whatever you need to that day, and like do it in community. And it's so special. Like, it's so cool to be a part of this.
I was just thinking about that, what you just said, and you come into that space and you are who you are at that point in time. So there's so much of a meditative quality to the class in a weird way, because it is, you are so much in the present. You are so much in the moment.
Yeah.
Like, because the moves are somewhat intricate.
Yeah.
And you're listening to songs, you're listening to music. Even when I start the class, I might have a bunch of agenda, a bunch of the monkey mind going around in my brain. You know, like, da-da-da-da-da, I have to do this, don't forget that. Yeah. Oh, that person looked at me weird. Oh, I wonder if I remembered to start the dinner. You know, did I buy that stuff for the curry? But suddenly class starts, and I kind of am like, no, I can focus on this other stuff. I can multitask. I'm very
we pride ourselves in
very
that.
good at that. I can do 10 things at the same time. Same freaking time, I'll do it. But you know what? Partway through class, I find myself totally in the moment.
You're like, I don't care what's for dinner.
I am free. You forgot. I'm free. No dinner tonight. And that's the meditative quality too, that sort of expansive being present in that moment with these people. And for that moment, you look around and you realize everybody in that room is experiencing something at the exact same time.
Totally.
And then you're like, in the brain,
that is so
the body.
Powerful. It's so powerful to have these communal experiences together.
Yes.
I have a quote from Glennon Doyle, who's my personal hero, that kind of makes me think about what we're talking about right now. She said, women put all of this energy into the roles we play. Ask a woman who she is. She'll tell you who she loves. I'm a wife. I'm a mom. I'm a friend. And that's great. It makes the world go round. But it's also why we live in fear, because these things can be taken from us. And I feel like that's so true. And like I feel like I haven't been doing OULA in so long, because it's been like 2 weeks now. But like, I see myself going more and more and more and more down that road the less I've done OULA, because then I am like, I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I have to do these things, I have to do this. But like, in an OULA class, it's like you really are coming home to you.
Yeah.
And you're not all of these things to other people that are so valuable. Like, of course, being a mom, there is nothing in the world that is better. But I still need to come to that space where I am me, where I don't have to, like, I don't have to keep it together for anyone else. I don't have to think about anybody but me and who I am and how I'm feeling, and to really let myself be okay with all of it.
Yeah, and you're not even really thinking in that moment. I mean, there isn't.
You're
really
not thinking. You just are.
You
You
just
are.
You
just
feel
are.
very present, and it's what we were saying before. Many days I think to myself, I continue to be surprised by what I experience in the class, because I'm like, where did that come from? Where did that emotion come from?
Right.
Where did that feeling come from? I don't feel like I have any of those feelings, or I have them, but they don't seem like they need to bubble up or be present.
Yeah.
But suddenly in the class, in that moment, those feelings are there and they're welcome.
Yeah.
They're
absolutely.
welcome there. Come
Totally.
on in.
Totally.
You can come in. It's okay.
Yeah.
Maybe you're not going to make the curry tonight. Maybe you forgot about the curry. It's all right.
It's okay.
It's okay, because I'm just Bernice right now.
Yeah. Absolutely. Exactly.
With Kaylee on my right, and maybe Stacy on my left.
Totally.
And 4 other people behind me. Whatever's happening, I'm just right there then.
Totally. And it only takes an hour.
Only 1 hour. Can you believe it? Seems like it would take like you have to do a marathon or something.
Or just go to these huge, you're a therapist, so I'm not going to talk this because I need therapy as well. But it's just a quick and easy, and it's a fun kind of fix. And I just love that people are like, this is the cheapest therapy that there is. And it's true.
It's true.
It takes an hour and it's fun, and you're getting a good workout.
It's so
And you're connecting
so
with
true.
community.
Yes.
And you're singing and you're dancing.
Yes.
But yet it does all of these things that we seek out through, different mind-body experiences, or through therapy, or through retreats, or through group work, or through all of these other things. It's I don't know. It can bring it all together. And I'm not claiming any of this as something that I've done. It's like Elizabeth Gilbert's book, Big Magic, where it's I was there at the right time, and I was like, pick me.
You're like a conduit.
And the idea was okay, you. And I'm like, okay, here we go together. And it's been such a cool journey. And I can't wait to see where else we go with it. And we have a lot of exciting things coming up in 2018. And I just I don't know. I feel it more strongly than ever. People need to do this. And whether maybe it's not OULA, but people need to be bringing all parts of their being into these experiences to really have profound change and profound healing and health. All of these pieces of us need to come together, because it's not a disjointed thing. We are in this body, and we're living in the moment, and we're interacting, and we're sensing, and we're feeling, and it's all happening at the same time. And I feel just what a cool thing that we get to be a full being in this space, and kind of get not all of our needs, but a lot of our needs met.
Our needs, and even maybe not always met, but made aware.
Or made aware. I think that's a great way.
I didn't realize I needed that.
Yeah.
And it's
totally.
I better pay attention. I better pay attention to what I just experienced there.
Yeah, totally. You don't even know sometimes. And that's one of the funniest things. We have a new song, Tiptoe. And Stacy was telling me the story how in one of her classes she has more of kind of an older demographic, and she's like, okay, you guys, this song is about a sexy ballerina. And they all just giggled, and they did the dance, and they just loved it. I mean, how often, I hope that when I'm 75 years old, I get to dance around to a Jason Derulo song about being a sexy ballerina.
Oh, yeah.
But ask a 75-year-old, what do you need today? She's probably not going to answer to feel like a sexy ballerina.
No, she's probably not. I mean, she might.
I might need to run my errands, or, this or whatever, that. But, how awesome that you get to experience what you didn't even know you needed. Like you just said, I love that, because most of the times we don't even know what we need.
And then
you get this, buffet of options
and
in
it's
an OULA class.
Oh, I needed that, and I wasn't aware of that, and that was a good thing that I released there. it's just so, continues to be so enlightening every time I do a class. It blows my mind away.
It's so fun.
So
I guess if you haven't tried an OULA class and you're listening to this, you can find us at oulafitness.com. We've got classes live. We've got online classes, and we've got also just empowerment weekends. We've got workshops. We've got retreats. For those of you who do come to OULA and are part of our community, we love you so much. Honestly, without you, none of this would be possible. And I will tell you every single day until the day that I die, OULA is nothing without you. So thank you. I know this was probably not the best podcast you've ever listened to.
it was the best.
It was the best.
Mind blown.
Hopefully it wasn't the worst, and we are excited to film another one with any suggestions or topics you guys want to talk about. We've definitely got ideas ourselves, but we would always love to hear from you. So thank you so much for listening.
Thank you, you guys.
Have a great day. We love you.
Goodbye.